Ed Miliband, Nick Clegg, David Cameron. Do these names, or even these faces, mean anything to you? Because there's an increasing worry that young people are disengaged with politics, with only 55% of young people registered to vote for the general election in May.
I think maybe a lot of young people probably think, they're not too bothered at the time, or, they don't really understand, for example, what a lot of political parties are representing, what their policies are, and so they might not, think, that's the party I really want to vote for and that sort of thing. A lot of people might think it might just be easier if I just sort of don't bother at all.
Young people just don't know enough about it.
They feel like it doesn't affect them.
We understand it's a problem, but we can't exactly relate to it, so it's not really interesting enough.
I spoke to two people who've been involved with the Labour Party for years about why they think young people aren't engaged in politics. Brendan Clegg is the Labour election agent for Wealdon, and Sonia Hanson is the ex-chair of Wealdon and has been the chair for over 40 years in the past.
Well, there's a general feeling in the population of a disconnection between the political class, our politicians, our MPs, the people that are basically running the country or are involved in political parties, and I think this disconnect is more is higher with young people. We've selected a candidate who's probably the youngest candidate in the country.
He's a good example of someone who has been involved in politics from a very young age. I mean, he started, at 16.
He's a member of the Youth Parliament.
Yeah. That's right, and going up to the House of Commons. And anybody who are interested in politics can do all these things.
The key thing is education in the end, because through education you can show young people especially that everything in their life is affected by politics.
Like Brendan said, education is key to raising political interest and could give people, just like Solomon, opportunities they wouldn't have otherwise had. I visited one of the only schools in North East Wales to teach politics at A level.
I'm a politics teacher and I've been teaching the subject for around about 26 years, since the time of Margaret Thatcher. So from Thatcher to Cameron I've been teaching politics. It's always been a popular option, perhaps the last 2 or 3 years less popular, but it's always been a popular option, and many of those students go on to university to study politics at degree levels or even go beyond that. In fact, one of them, Kenneth Gates, went on to become an assembly member down in Cardiff representing Clwyd South, so I'm very proud of that one.
I thought that it was something important. I've always been quite, I've been quite emotive on subjects, current events, but I never really, I suppose, what I was talking about, so I had to take politics to kind of, perhaps just get some knowledge on something that is very important, and that isn't taught enough in schools, because it affects everyone, and everyone, has an opportunity to vote, so I'd like to be educated before I vote.
Students have varying political interests. They sometimes say they're not political, but when you start talking to them about various issues and things that concern them, you actually find that they are political.
You don't have to study politics academically to become politically engaged and interested in politics. Friday Forum is an excellent opportunity for students to get engaged in subjects that affect them and express their own views.
We came up with this idea of not being told what they were going to be what they would discuss, but giving them a free forum to develop their own ideas and have a way to discuss it.
I think just having the opportunity for debate and having the opportunity to talk about politics or whatever is really useful, because firstly you learn things that you may not have learned in the first place, and then you also get to voice your opinions and hear the opinions of others. It's really interesting.
I was overwhelmed with the amount of young people who decided to take up their lunchtime to watch and take part in the hustings for their local constituency of Delyn. There were MP candidates for the Conservatives, for Labour, for the Lib Dems, for UKIP and the Greens, as well as Plaid Cymru, offering a wide range of political views for the students to get engaged with. Just the sheer number of students who turned up to the hustings show that young people are interested and are engaged in politics.